So it's 10 o'clock. Perhaps we should wait about 30 more seconds to see if some other people will join.
Please mute your phone if you have not.
All right, it's 10:01. So if you haven't already, could you put your name and your organization in the chat box for kind of our ongoing list? Patrick, do you want to get started?
Sure. Again, I'd like to ask everyone if they can please mute their phone. I'm getting a lot of feedback, or your computer, either one. So welcome, everyone. This meeting is being recorded again, and we are looking forward to meeting with you on a frequent basis and talking to you about some changes. Some of you have been grantees on these expansion grants in the past. Others are brand new. And we really look forward to working through some of the new and innovative processes that we've come up with to train folks, and we will get into more detail on that. Again, for those of you that don't know who I am Patrick Campbell. I am the Program Development Division Manager, and for the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, Office of Employment and Training.
And I'm Jennifer Foyle. I work with Patrick and Gary. I actually work for NIU, but I'm a consultant to the Department of Commerce full-time. We have a little bit of feedback, so if you're not talking, please mute yourself so we can eliminate that feedback. And is Gary Eichen on the phone? Well, Gary's our grant manager. I know many of you know him, and he may be on later. So again, please mute yourself if you're not talking, or mute your computer. So what we're going to do, one of the things that's really important is that you all know each other, because we want everyone to work with each other, to share best practices, do referrals. There's a lot of different reasons that we want you all to know each other. So we're going to go through an introduction with everyone. Can you guys see, Patrick, can you see now that I put up the Navigators by Economic Development Region?
Yes. Yes,
okay,
I can see that. And Irene, if you can mute your phone.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go in order here. This is the order for introductions. Can we get one person from each organization to kind of do the introduction, but tell us who all is on your team, tell us where you're located, and tell us about your project. So we're going to spend, about 2 minutes per organization. So do we have someone from Land of Lincoln Workforce Alliance on the call?
Sure. Can you all hear me?
I can, yes.
This is Sarah Graham. I am the Executive Director at Land of Lincoln Workforce Alliance. Our team consists of our business service representative and our fiscal person. And then we've got another of other individuals kind of supporting the grant within our organization. And we applied for this grant to be the Apprenticeship Navigator because we did not have one in our economic development region. And we applied in conjunction with a number of other community partners. So Lincoln Land Community College, Capital Area, Career Center, and Sangamon County. We're three of the big entities that we are going to support with apprenticeships and pre-apprenticeship programs.
Good morning, Lenora Daly from IWE.
Good morning. Thank you, Sarah. So now Cook County. And one more thing, if you haven't muted yourself or your computer, please do so. We have a lot of feedback. So if you're not speaking, please mute your computer, your microphone, your phone.
Hi, can people hear me?
Yes, just barely.
So you
But
know what, I'll
Irene?
let Kindy go. It is Irene, but Kindy might have better connection, so I will let Kindy do it.
Okay, thank you,
Hey,
Irene.
Irene, I see that your phone is the only one that is not muted.
Where is my phone on this list? I'm sorry.
It's up at the top.
But I can't mute it. I'm trying. I'm sorry. It doesn't give me an option. My computer, I'm using my phone. I'm sorry. Let me
Okay,
get
you just
out
mute
and I'll
your
come
phone
back.
then?
Yeah.
All right, Kindy.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cindy Kruller. I'm with Cook County Bureau of Economic Development. And yes, there's still so much feedback, but it's exciting to be here and meet everyone. I've been with the Bureau since January as the Apprenticeship Navigator. It's a program that Irene Scher has led, and you might know my colleague Vanessa Uribe, who has been the Navigator and fulfilled that role. We are excited to be part of this program, and we are super excited about the work we have planned in year 2. We'll be expanding from a sector partnership or sector of manufacturing in the Southland of Cook County to doing 4 sectors in 10 counties, TD&L, IT, healthcare, and continuing with manufacturing. So I'm excited to be here and look forward to meeting everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you, Kindy. We have someone for St. Augustine College.
It's Lenora, I think.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry, everybody. I just took my phone off of mute this morning. So, yes, I am with St. Augustine College, the Institute of Workforce Education. We provide dual languages for companies in manufacturing, in the sectors of healthcare, manufacturing, construction, as well as retail and hospitality and commercial. Our organization is focusing on the manufacturing as well as the sector of healthcare with our apprenticeship. And I'm very excited to see everybody on the phone this morning. Hey, Candy, how you doing this morning?
Thank you. How about the Workforce Connection?
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes, hello, good morning. My name is Chris Connors and I'm with Workforce Connection. We are the local workforce board for the Boone, for LWIA 3, Boone, Stevenson, and Winnebago County. And we are doing the Apprenticeship Navigator for EDR 5, which also includes Ogle County and the northern part of the state. EDR 5 had not had an Apprenticeship Navigator, so we are very excited to take on that opportunity and role. On the call with me today is Lisa Bly, our Executive Director. Lisa Bly Jones, excuse me, our Executive Director, and Dan White, our Fiscal Manager. And we will be focusing our apprenticeship navigation areas on the areas that we identified in our regional plan, such as manufacturing, healthcare, information technology, and transportation and logistics. So we're looking forward to getting started.
Thank you. How about from Best?
Hi, this is Carrie. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. I'm Carrie Fulkin. I'm the Executive Director for the Business Employment Skills Team in Local Workforce Area 4. We are partnering with the chambers and the community colleges and also Local Workforce Area 13 to make up our Economic Development Region 6. We are also doing the Apprenticeship Navigator, which we have not had in the past, so very excited about getting boots on the ground and going out and expanding the apprenticeships in our area.
Excellent, thank you. How about MantraCon?
Good morning, this is Lucinda Phoenix with MantraCon. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Kathy Lively, our CEO, is also on the call. We applied for the Navigator grant. We also applied for an Intermediary grant, and Kathy will fill you in on that. We are representing EDR number 8, which is Local Workforce Area 25 and 26 combined, 19 counties. We have a Navigator committee established as well who were involved. We were luckily awarded a grant last year so that we could do this last year as well too. And our Navigator committee is going to continue with us. We have representatives from all of the community colleges in our 19 counties, as well as the Department of Employment Security representative from there, and we'll be adding some business representatives. So really enjoyed this work last year. I'm really looking forward to doing it again this year. Really excited about it.
Excellent, thank you, Lucinda. And St. Clair County.
Good morning, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, this is Matt Jones with St. Clair County. And we are representing EDR 9, which is a consortium partnership between LWIA 24, LWIA 22, and a whole host of other partners. We are currently administering the Navigator and the Intermediary grants. And under the new grants, we did apply for the Navigator as well as both sections of the Intermediary. So we've had a long history down here being, I believe, the first area to be certified as an intermediary going way back. So we've kind of had the advantage of being an intermediary early on, and we look forward to the new partnerships going forward, especially challenges we're facing with COVID. So thank you. And also, I'm sorry, Lee Reese is on the call. Lee is our Navigator. Cindy Lehman is on the call as well. She's business services for LWIA 24. And Sarah Lorio is on the call. She is business services for LWIA 22.
Excellent. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
And Western Illinois work. Do we have anyone from LWIA 14 on the line? Okay, let's move on to the intermediaries now. So Lincoln
Jen, we do have Mike. Yeah. I see him on there.
Is he unmuted?
He is.
Hello, Mike. Introduce yourself. All right, there may be some technical difficulty. Let's move on to Lincoln Land Community College. Could you tell us what you're focusing on as an intermediary and your partners and other people who are on the line?
Yeah, so I'm Jason Doctor. I'm with Lincoln Land Community College. We also have on the line Sarah Goodman, and we are planning to focus our activities in partnership with the Land of Lincoln Workforce Alliance, as Sarah Graham mentioned. We're looking to focus on medical, TDL, auto tech, and the hospitality industries, and develop programming in focusing on those areas.
Excellent. Thank you. Have you all had a registered apprenticeship program before?
No, we are fairly new to the game.
Well, welcome aboard. Thank you.
Thank you.
How about Danville Area Community College? Do we have anyone from Danville Area Community College? All right, we'll move to Heartland Community College.
Hello, this is Kurt Rendell. I'm the Executive Director of Work Ready Program Development at Heartland Community College. We have been the RTI provider in the past with apprenticeships, but this is our first time with being the intermediary and registered apprenticeship. And we're focusing on advanced manufacturing, welding, machining, and then transportation, distribution, logistics. And also on the call is our president, Keith Cornell, Dana King, our Dean of Industrial Technology, and Veronica Enselman, who's our Associate Director of Apprenticeships.
Excellent, thank you. Calumet Area Industrial Commission.
Good morning. This is Ted Stalnos. I'm president of the Calumet Area Industrial Commission. And we've been working on apprenticeships as an intermediary for the last couple of years. We also work with WIOA and on-the-job training, ITAs, and so forth. We're located on the far south side of the city of Chicago, and our main service area is the entire south side of the city and southern Cook County. We mainly focus on manufacturing, but because of COVID and all of the needs of economic development in our region, and as hard hit as it is, we are open to doing apprenticeships in other sectors.
Very good. Thank you, Ted. And you're right. I think COVID's impacted all of us here, and we're thinking of things differently. We're going to go back to Western Illinois Works because I heard that Blanche is on the phone, and I just want everyone to meet her. So, Blanche, could you introduce yourself and your organization? Blanche? All right. Well, she sent me an email telling me she's on the phone. We're going to skip National Able because he's in another meeting, and Matt Weiss will be joining us in a moment. How about Safer Foundation?
So you have Mark Yates and David Francesca. We started our apprenticeship maybe, I want to say 3 years ago when we started our construction company. So we deal with individuals who have criminal records. So what we noticed was we could get them job ready and send them out for job interviews and things, but when they always come back saying, I didn't get the job. So one of the areas was construction. So we were like, you know what, let's start our own social enterprise in construction. And so we've been operating about 3 years now. And what we've done is we've coupled going out and doing actual jobs in the communities with training individuals who are returning back to the community. So David, you want to add anything to that?
I love that story, Mark. Thank you for giving us a background too. And I didn't realize you all had started your own construction company to get them hired. I love how you were innovative in that way.
Thank you.
Do we have someone from Township High School District 214?
Yes, good morning. Hi, this is Marcella Zip for High School District 214. We've been in the apprenticeship space for a year and a half now with registered apprenticeships in IT, cybersecurity, HVAC, and automotive. And we also added on CNA recently. We also offer youth apprenticeships in construction, manufacturing, and there's a couple other areas we're looking at getting on board. We're working with Urban Institute, and they're helping us come up with some new competencies for youth apprenticeships so we can serve more high school students. But we're located in the northwest suburbs of Illinois, and we serve high school students in the communities of Buffalo Grove, Wheeling, Elk Grove Village, Rolling Meadows, Arlington Heights, Mount Prospect, Prospect Heights, and a little piece of Des Plaines. So we have about 15 apprentices now. Our first 3 graduated high school with their registered apprenticeship. And then we also have one student that was unable to complete his OJT prior to graduation in HVAC, but we are transitioning him into another registered apprenticeship with one of our local unions. So he'll be able to complete that.
Oh, that's perfect, Marcella. And thank you. You all have done some very pioneering things for high school. So we're looking to you all as an example of how to spread. Now
very
I've been
excited
told
to be in
again
the.
Oh, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
I just want to say we're very excited to be in the group of intermediaries, navigators, and also learn what other communities are able to do with different types of apprentices in Illinois for economic development.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I hope I'm right this time, but it sounds like Blanche is on the phone. So we're going to go back to Western Illinois Work. And Blanche, are you there? You sent me another email.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, I can. Go ahead, Blanche. Okay, so I guess we're having technical difficulty with
Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can.
Okay, can you hear me now? Yes?
Yes.
Oh, good. Thank you. I finally got on the WebEx. So hello, I'm Blanche from the western part of Illinois. You'll see we're the EDR 10 in the green, 9 counties, and we'll be, again this year, operating a Navigator grant. We're excited about that. We had a lot of positive response from businesses early on in the process, and then not as many folks at the end of our grant interested in the apprenticeship program, but we've had some new inquiries now with COVID and looking at how we might be able to train some folks that for some of the new skills, especially in automation in manufacturing. So we're very excited about still being a part of this initiative.
Thank you, Blanche. Good to hear from you. Elgin Community College.
Good morning, Jen. This is Kathy Meisinger. I'm the Director of Strategic Partnerships and Experiential Learning at the college, and I'm happy to be joined with Lisa Utley this morning, who is the Apprenticeship Coordinator. ECC is going into our 3rd year of registered apprenticeship. The manufacturing programs are in partnership with ICAT, or the Industrial Consortium for Advanced Technical Training, who hold the RA, and right now in CNA. We're using this grant funding to expand registered apprenticeship within our district, which covers 4 counties. We're in Kane, we're in Cook, McHenry, and a little bit of DuPage. So we've got a nice selection of businesses and students. We're focusing areas of fire science, EMT. For quite a long time, our municipalities have been looking to diversify, and now more than ever, it's a great opportunity to help them to create departments that look more like the communities that they serve. And we're working, we're expanding our diversity and equity, and also returning citizens. The other one that I'm writing for registered apprenticeship is the culinary area, cook area. It was originally meant to be within our hospital systems. Due to COVID, they have backed out. So I hope that they will jump back in. Other than that, we will focus on something a little bit different. Thank you for allowing us to be on the line.
And I'm really interested in your EMT, the municipality ones. Those are some really good areas to expand into. So that's exciting, Kathy.
I agree with that. And with our manufacturing, we've really had great success in aggregating employer needs. And this will be the same thing. I mean, we've got some very large departments, municipalities in our area, but even the small ones need diversity and need to expand in that area.
Very good. Thank you, Kathy. Do we have someone from United Way of Metropolitan Chicago? Well, I know we do. Who's?
Hi there.
Please introduce yourself.
Hi there. It's Jay Rowell, Executive Director of Hire 360. Nice to see so many familiar faces on the call this morning. So Hire 360 is a new unique partnership of a lot of construction companies, labor unions, with the sole focus on trying to get more community members into building trades and hospitality. We're very excited about this partnership with the United Way, who's our fiscal sponsors. We're a new entity, although we just got our IRS approval as a nonprofit. But we're partnering with the United Way on this grant, the CFL's Chicago Federation of Labor's Workforce and Community Initiative, and then with Unite Here Chicago Hospitality Apprenticeship, which is a newly registered apprenticeship program. Our program will focus on recruiting people for different culinary occupations. Today on the call, we have Claudia Delgado from the Unite Here's hospitality program, Jackie Robinson from United Way, and Mark Williams from Hire 360 as well. And so keep me honest, any of you, if I missed anything we should cover.
Mike Harkey's here too.
And Mike Harkey from Hire 360 is on as well.
Nice, thank you. Let's move on to Community College District 502, College of DuPage.
Yes, this is Danielle Kuglin-Sego. I'm the manager of Project Higher Ed at College of DuPage, which is our initiative to address workforce development needs in DuPage County. Also on the call today, I have Ileana Nava, our program assistant in Project Higher Ed, and then Marsha Frank, who's our grant program manager. We've been in the apprenticeship space for about a year, currently in manufacturing, and we are really grateful and honored to be working with this grant as it'll allow us to continue to expand in manufacturing within healthcare and our IT cybersecurity arenas and industries, and then we'll also be looking to help diversify our apprenticeship candidate pool so that we also have candidates that are reflective of the communities that they are working in.
Very good, thank you. OAI. Do we have someone from OAI on the call? All right, let's go to ACPE. I know we have some people there.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Pete Vlasis. I'm the Emeritus Executive Director of the Accreditation Council for Pharmacy Education. We actually received a Navigator grant last year because we identified a big need in the marketplace for well-trained pharmacy technicians. And we developed the grant in the partnership with a group called Talent First. Jan Koretzis is on the call. Sherry Speakman, I think, maybe had a last minute need to be on another call. And a very experienced group, the Institute for American Apprenticeships, Julie Hagel, is on the call. And we made good progress. We identified and educated the major hospitals in the Chicago area and the surrounding counties. We developed an entry-level and specialty apprenticeship models that we are working and communicating with these hospitals. We're very honored to have received the Intermediary grant going forward.
Thank you, Pete. I appreciate you sharing that you all had a perfect storm come together with the new standards for pharmacy education or for pharmacy tech. And
yeah, this is part of the reason we got so interested was the tremendous diversity in pharmacy technician training and education. And yet the state of Illinois requiring a standard as of January 1st of 2022. So we're trying to get everybody up to speed, have the apprenticeship entry level requirements meet those regulations, and essentially meet an important market need that's getting more play right now based on all the issues that are coming with vaccinations and COVID and all the other things that are going to involve technicians going forward.
Thank you. Now let's move to tech services.
Good morning. This is Linda Kaiser. I believe Greg Sutton is also on the call. Our grant deals with some companies that were identified when we had a prior Navigator grant. They're companies that in manufacturing that didn't have the funding capability entirely to do their projects. They were identified by IMEC and some of the 7 local workforce areas in the Economic Development Area 4. So this was the next step in that work to do these projects.
Thank you, Linda. And Rend Lake College. Do we have someone on the line from Rend Lake? Then let's move to St. Clair County.
Okay, good morning again. This is Matt Jones representing EDR 9, and we have Lee Reese, our navigator, and Cindy Lehman and Sarah Lorio on the call as well. So I may ask them to chime in, but for the intermediary expansion of our current programs, we're focusing on healthcare, specifically the medical assisting program. We developed sort of a customized program here with one of our community colleges, and actually we're expanding that into other community colleges that are looking at the same model for some area healthcare providers. We also have intermediary expansion of projects in process operations with SIUE and the Corn to Ethanol Research Center. And we also have expanded into industrial tech, industrial maintenance, which we're actually doing under our current intermediary expansion and also for new programs. So we hope to have a lot of programs under that. Under some new programs we're looking at a variety of different programs from diesel mechanics to auto, truck, and trailer repair, again, industrial manufacturing, aviation, welding, some customized CDL programs that we're looking at. And then we also have a couple of side projects that are kind of unique, including the development of a high school vocational training center here in the Belleville School District. And then also what's called the Big Steps Construction Program, which is a program geared toward recruiting minorities and females for construction trades. So we had that. And of course, some of these projects obviously are on hold or in different stages due to COVID. But we anticipate that there's still an interest there. We've been trying to keep in touch with everybody as much as we can moving forward to pick those back up as soon as we can. So I don't know, Lee or Cindy or Sarah, do you have anything to add real quick?
No, other than that we are developing a retail and hospitality training certificate that we hope to get WIOA funding secured for, and we already have an apprenticeship framework that labor has looked at and said that they would approve. Other than that, we've got lots of other little sidebars going.
Okay, thanks, Lee. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to go back now because I hear that Matt Weiss is on and he's with National Able. So Matt, could you introduce your program and yourself?
Sure, thanks, Jen. Hi, my name is Matt Weiss.
We are in EDR 4. Sorry, I'm late at another meeting. I'm sure everyone can appreciate Friday morning meetings because they're great. Okay, so I think I'm the only one here. We are, and I'm going to talk a little bit about our program and what we do. Many of you are already very familiar with what we do. We are going to be expanding that through this next round of grants. We're an intermediary. We're focused on IT. We have, I will say, you know, as from the COVID impact side of things, and I heard the last presenter talk a little bit about some of the things that have impacted their program. We've been, you know, there's been some jobs that have fallen off. I will say, though, with the apprenticeship grant, we really haven't had a problem at all. Our employer, actually, two of them continue to hire our apprentices. The training we were able to shift to a online format relatively easily, just because of the fact that we are an IT shop. So that went really well. We've actually been able to start a couple of cohorts on our past grant, and we're looking to obviously do the same thing with this new grant, knowing though that we probably won't have in classroom type of training or even it'll most likely be a hybrid type model for classroom training in, you know, the months ahead. So our program focuses primarily on training apprentices in Cisco certifications, and then they get direct training from our employer, which is Cisco Meraki. We've actually got a couple more employers on board as well with this who are hiring apprentices and working with them. So we've got that really mapped out. It's been going pretty swimmingly. We're looking forward to expanding. I think one of the challenges is obviously there's the COVID related piece. But the other challenge that we're finding, frankly, is just employer capacities. They have put a pretty substantial amount of resources into helping us with this apprenticeship program and to make it solid. I know that they've taken a hit on their business a little bit with work from home primarily, whereas we had their staff coming into our facility to help train our apprentices. They're not doing that remotely, which is obviously what we all have to do, but that's taking a little bit of hit on the capacity side. But it's nothing that I'm particularly worried about in the long term that's going to affect anything throughout this grant, or frankly affect the outcomes with our apprentices. So that's kind of our program in a nutshell. I want to make sure I hit on everything though. Jen, was there anything else that I'm missing?
I think that's all. I mean, you all have like a front-loaded training program for the apprenticeship program, and then they go into it. Is that correct? Matt?
Sorry. Yes, Jen?
No. Oh, I was saying you all have a front-loaded training program, the way your registered apprenticeship works. Is that true?
That's
and then
correct.
They go into.
Yeah, we're a front-loaded program. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Matt.
Thanks.
And I hear that someone can run like this.
Can I interject? And Matt, you might want to just really quickly explain front-loaded for some of you that are new and may not be as familiar with that.
Sure, not a problem. So front-loaded training program is apprenticeship program is when individuals attend training quite literally on the front end in a classroom setting, and then they are placed with an employer after that training program ends, and they receive various credentials and/or employer-specific training in the classroom. So that's how our program is structured. We have 12 weeks of classroom training that happens with the employer as well as our instructors, and it's done in classroom, online right now. Then they transition into a spot with the employer.
And they start their on-the-job learning part.
That's
Thank
correct.
You so much.
Yep. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Matt. And now Rend Lake. I hear we have someone from Rend Lake on the call. Is it Joy? Joy Fitz, are you on? Maybe we're having technical difficulty there. In that case, we'll go to Mantracon.
Proud to be up.
Is that Kathy Lively?
Kathy, I think you have to mute your computer. If you're looking at it on the computer, you'll need to mute your computer and then talk on the phone.
Kathy?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can. Yeah.
Okay. I'll try to speak softly, which is difficult. You know what, Lucinda, do you want to try to take this? I can't figure out our technical difficulties.
Can you hear me? It's
Yes.
Lucinda. Okay. All right. Yes, we received the intermediary grant. We had one last year as well too. With this new grant, the sectors we're going to focus on are with manufacturing, healthcare, and TDL. However, we're not going to exclude any industry. And I probably should go back and mention we are EDR 8, which is workforce areas 25 and 26. And we've so far had some luck with manufacturing. We have 5 apprentices in manufacturing right now, and we plan to add 5 more, hopefully starting in August. We are assisting Ren Lake College and another couple of businesses with some incumbent worker apprentice programs as well too. And then we've got some other projects in the works that we were very close to launching when COVID hit. So that did kind of put us on hold for just a little bit, but we're hoping to get started back with those as everything returns. You know, we need some of the classroom instruction to make these new apprenticeships work. So we're hopeful to get started as quickly as possible.
Jennifer, this is Kathy. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, let me try again. Thank you, Lucinda. I just wanted to be sure we are really working closely with Ren Lake College, so there's no duplication of effort. We work with Joy. We bring WIOA funds sometimes to the apprenticeships, so we work really well together. I know it looks like there could be competition, but Joy and Ren Lake College are actually part of our Navigator committee, and so we work really well with them. In addition, we're working with 2 public-private partnerships, SI Works. We're working on advanced manufacturing utilizing augmented reality, and we're writing for a Delta Regional Authority grant to equip us with a lab here at our American Jobs Center so that we've got 2 different manufacturers currently interested in providing pre-training, ramping up training, and those will be involved in apprenticeships with us. We're also working with rail, as Lucinda indicated, and aviation. Now we've been approached by SIU Carbondale, and we're working on a new apprenticeship opportunity with aviation, also using augmented reality. So we're relying heavily on some technology to help us overcome some of our transportation issues and training issues in Southern Illinois. And just yesterday and the day before, we're anticipating launching something with a couple of area high schools to increase diversity among applicants. And we're going to be creating a pre-apprenticeship program. It's not written into our grant, so I'll have to be talking with you guys about that, but there also are private funds involved. So I think we're entering into a little bit of a new era, and we are hiring Crystal Lukens. Crystal Lukens was a former director of CSEP, Senior Services, and is very familiar with working with employers and placing applicants, and so she's going to be leading a lot of our intermediary work. Lucinda does a fantastic job as Navigator, and with our partners, we're going to make great things happen with this money. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Kathy. And do you want to say that you're from?
Oh, yes, I'm from beautiful Southern Illinois, the southernmost 19 counties at the tip of the state with bluffs and rivers and lakes and wineries.
I love it. Thank you, Kathy.
And great people.
Now, is there anyone else? Now, I know Joy is on, but she's having difficulty with the speaker. Is anyone? Have we missed anyone else that's on? Okay, so we'll move on. Thank you all. I appreciate that. So what we will send all of you, all of the different grantees, and then especially if they're intermediaries, which programs they're focusing on, and then also point of contact information, just so that you guys, if you're interested in sharing information or learning about what other people are doing, you'll have that, that resource, because we want you guys to reach over to another economic development area, region, or community college, or a local workforce area, and work with each other and share resources. So I will be sending that out to everyone soon. Patrick, do you want to go ahead and start with expectations? While he's getting on,
Sure.
I will say that the first thing we put on here is that we need to know all the key players in your grants. And we said this because, and it reminded me when Kathy said they're hiring someone new. If you're hiring someone new, please let us know as soon as they're on board and we can get their contact info. So it's important because we're going to have training available, and also that we just keep the point of contact up to date so other people can still, you know, reach out to the right person. Go ahead, Patrick.
Okay. Well, thank you. A couple of things that I just want to say right off the top here is, for those of you that were previous grantees, you can see we have really expanded, and that's very exciting. We have many more included in this particular round of grants. Another thing that I want to point out is for the navigators, please keep in mind, I know we all have our specialties. We all have things that, you know, sectors, et cetera, that we are specifically focused on. But remember, navigators are sector neutral. We should be inclusive of all. And the expectation is that, you know, there should be a sense of inclusion, whether an intermediary is from within this grant or from outside. We want to be working with all resources and everything within the local workforce area and economic development regions. I also want to encourage a sense of community, specifically with all the grantees, sharing of information. We're looking at some kind of community sharing resources and how that can work best. Certainly open to suggestions, and we've had a couple of navigators step up and demonstrate an interest in getting some of that kicked off. Dot point number 2 is don't forget about apprenticeshipillinois.com. We want to start using our taglines. We want to start marketing this appropriately, and all of us using consistent language. In line with the consistent language is the training syllabus and modules that we are underway right now. Those first ones are going to be being rolled out within the next couple weeks, and we will give you a rundown of that. Please keep in mind that the expectation is that everyone will participate and go through these. That's another reason why we need to know specifically who are the folks that you are designating as responsible for these grants. We are going to track the folks that are participating in the training and kind of go through that process. That's a little, I'm going to let Jennifer talk a little bit more about that too. The work plans, we understand that, you know, the original work plans for many of you has changed given COVID-19, and there are a lot of discussion points related to that. We're going to want to update those work plans, and over the next 45 days, we'll be working with you on those work plans, making edits to those, changes and updates, et cetera. So, Jen, why don't you talk a little bit about the training syllabus that's coming up?
Yeah, so as Patrick alluded to, we had previous, and then some of you already had announced, we had, last year we had 10 grantees. They were either navigators or intermediaries or both. And so those were our pilot. We just kind of threw them out there and said, sink or swim, good luck, you know. But we got a lot of feedback from them, as well as we're working with the Systems and Support Work Group from the IWIB Apprenticeship Committee. And we're putting together a series of training modules for you all, so that you're not alone out there, and that you will have the knowledge and understanding that you need to have to be able to implement your grants. Now, it's a start. It's not for sure. It's definitely not a comprehensive, but we're definitely putting together a lot of good information for you guys. We originally were going to put it in a binder and then have workshops, in-person workshops, during the year. But of course, COVID changed all of that. And actually, it's not a bad thing, because we're going to put them all in training modules online, and then you can do it at your own, on your own time. And then also, if you're hiring new people, they may not be there when the workshops happen, but now if you hire new people, you can send them to the training modules, and they'll be able to take them and know where we're at. They didn't miss out on anything. Now, how it's going to work, we're going to send a syllabus. We have, I think, 10 sessions. Not everybody is going to take all of them. It'll be coded on who is required to take what, because like if you're not going to enter anything into the GRS system or do the accounting side, there's no need for you to go through that training. So only the person that's going to be working with the financial part of your grants will do that. Also, there's some foundational ones that we do want everybody to take, because like Patrick said, we want this consistency of messaging. We want to ensure that we're not actually compounding problems out there, but that we're all on the same page and having the same message about the apprenticeship programs. So that's going to come. We're going to send the syllabus. The reason we don't have it to you right now, we do have a syllabus together, but we just, it's still kind of in draft form, and we want to ensure that we don't tell you the wrong dates of when those will be available for you to start taking. I think the first module is already created, and we're going to be releasing it next week, so you guys can go ahead and start working on that very soon. It's going to be, you're going to be able to access these. Well, I think there's a couple of ways. We're going to send you invitations to take them, but then also they're going to be on apprenticeshipillinois.com. And I want to bring up apprenticeshipillinois.com because we actually meet with Illinois WorkNet, who hosts that website for us, on a weekly basis, constantly updating it. And we're trying to put it in a more user-friendly way of becoming a resource for you guys and then other people in the state that are looking for resources. So always come back to apprenticeshipillinois.com to look for things, or if things that you think should be on there, let us know and we'll get it on there for you. I wanted to bring up the apprenticeship study again. That's on apprenticeshipillinois.com. This was some of you were in the IWeb Apprenticeship Committee the other day, and there was a report out on it. But that was a report that was mandated by the legislature, and we just released it this month. And I bring it up because this is going to be a great resource, especially for navigators, because the appendices include a section for every economic development region, the programs that are inventoried for your region. So that's a one way of quote, when we ask you to map your region, we want you to know what all is available already. Well, you can use, go to the apprenticeship study, grab your EDR section, and then see what's already there. And then also the study highlighted areas, things that could be expanded upon. So there's some things that are maybe work-based learning, but they have a lot of the components of a registered apprenticeship program that you all may be able to help expand. So that's a resource for you guys. And then just, again, like I said, we're trying to get other resources for you and trying to curate them in a way so that you're not overwhelmed, but it's actually useful for you.
Hey, Jen, can I interject? One thing about the training before we move too far away from the training is that there will be a certification for the training at different levels depending on what you're involved in. And this is going to help us with this consistent messaging. So just be aware of that, and that is a part of this whole training and the syllabus and the modules, the completion of those modules and the kind of quiz sections that are involved in those. And any of you that have been through ethics training online, it's going to be somewhat similar to that. But certainly we do intend to have all grantees certified at some level.
Yes, that's a really good point, Patrick. And then also, because it's being put into this learning management system, you can start the training, and if you don't have time to finish it, you can pause it and actually, log out and come back to it at another time and continue. So you're not going to lose what you've already gone through already.
So Jennifer, this is Kathy.
Yes.
Might I ask, so we're so fortunate because Michelle and Lucinda are both talent pipeline management certified. So, but Lucinda would still need to do this as well, just for clarification.
Right. There will be foundational ones that we're going to ask some people, that all of you guys, to do anyway. But there are going to be some talent pipeline ones that Lucinda would not have to go through because she's already done that, for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Good.
That's a really
question,
good point, Kathy. That's in addition to this, is as a resource, the state is bringing on a talent pipeline coordinator. And so this coordinator is going to work with the talent pipeline resources and has a lot of experience with TPM. And since that is a foundational component of all of our apprenticeship expansion activities and efforts, we really thought that was a critical kind of position and something that we want them to work in all of the regions. So this coordinator will work across all the regions and is really going to bump this up to the next level.
So should we move on to tracking apprentices? Patrick, so with tracking apprentices, the grant that we got from the Department of Labor that we've been put out through the NOFO, also the state of Illinois put up some of their own money as well to fund these grants. We have a deliverable of 800 new apprentices. We have to do a quarterly report to DOL talking about what the activity is going on, how many apprentices, how many programs, how many employers are engaged, things of that nature. So they're actually requiring all 50 states that receive this have to create their own tracking system. I know for those who are already doing registered apprenticeship, the RAPID system, but they actually are requiring every state to do their own system as well to track these apprentices. Okay, so with the intermediaries, you all who are working directly with apprentices, you'll use the system. If there's different levels of using the system, if you all are doing case management with them, well, that's built in. If you all have just received this grant to kind of expand programs, but we're going to get to count all your apprentices, then you're going to be able to just upload them through an Excel spreadsheet of somehow. The Illinois WorkNet is creating our system for us. But then also this brings us to the navigators. So the navigators, you all, you're not holding the standards of a registered apprenticeship program. You're not actually managing that registered apprenticeship program. But if you help an employer, a single employer, or another intermediary that is not one of our grantees, if you help them establish a program and they get some apprentices, we want to be able to count them towards our 800 because it's going to take all of us to do that, to count them. And so we're going to ask you as well to enter those apprentices into the system. But for those, just like the kind of the light touch intermediaries, if you're not doing case management with them, then they're creating this simple interface with like an Excel spreadsheet to be able to upload the apprentices. So we're trying not to make it hard on you guys. It's government. We're sorry for the bureaucracy, but just to let you know, this was mandated on us from the Department of Labor. We are part of the training modules will include training on the system of how to upload the apprentices, your programs, things of that nature. So of course, those who are going to be using it, you'll watch those parts of the modules or go through those training modules. That training will be sometime in July, and then the actual system will be available August 1st. Now, if you have things before then, you can start just tracking that information in an Excel spreadsheet right now, and then we'll have it available. Do you want to add anything, Patrick?
No, I think you did a good job of covering that.
Okay. Has Gary Eichen joined the call since we started? So I just want to go through the quarterly reports, or just reporting some expectations. So you'll have quarterly reports you have to do. Just like we have to do quarterly reports to DOL, you all have to do quarterly reports. To report to DOL, we need to know what's going on with you guys. And so we take the information that you give us in those quarterly reports, and then we bundle it up and then send it on to in our DOL report. So you all got, your work plans. It's an Excel spreadsheet, but it also has in that Excel spreadsheet, it was pretty big. It had a project narrative on one sheet. I think it had the work plan on another sheet. It had outcomes on another sheet. It also had a quarterly report. The quarterly report actually grabs, in that spreadsheet, it grabs what you put down as activities in your work plan, and then that's what you're going to report on. How are you doing on these activities each quarter? You will be, like Patrick said, you'll be receiving work feedback on your work plans very soon. There's going to be some very specific work plan feedback, and then like COVID, you may want to, because of COVID, you may want to also add some other changes or edits to your work plans as well. But just to let you know that how it's so important that you guys do the quarterly reports, because we're responsible then reporting back to DOL. And Patrick, do you want to talk about success stories?
Sure. Intermediaries and navigators have a little different expectations when it comes to success stories, but all grantees now have that in their scope of work and their work plan. It will be a requirement, success stories, and the number that each grantee is required to do will be based on the type of grantee that you are. We'll work through that, but there is some minimum numbers on that. So these are no longer just voluntary. These are no longer, optional to put in. These are requirements, success stories. If you are a local workforce area, in many cases you may be familiar with this, on Illinois WorkNet, how to enter that information in. For those of you that are not, we have some training that we're going to be doing on that. That will be one of the modules. So you will need to be familiar about these success stories. And these success stories are critical because they highlight, they share information, they help with the networking, and they highlight the expansion program for the state of Illinois. So please start thinking about that now and how we'll do that. I want to stress that success stories are not just participant related. So it's not just about a participant that goes through the program. The success stories include employers, how employers have become, how this is a success story for them, that they've adopted an apprenticeship program, that they've made innovative changes to that, and how it's really been expanded. Success stories can also be for communities, for local areas, for regional economic development areas. Success stories will come in many different versions. But certainly everyone needs to start thinking about that. I know with the last round of grantees, we talked about it at every quarterly meeting, and we got very few. That's why we put them into the scope of work as a requirement now. So, if you're receiving funding for this, our expectation is that you will, without a doubt, at some level, have success stories. And we want to hear about those as we move through each quarter.
And I just want to add, Patrick, that the reason we're doing this is we are constantly asked, either from the director's office or the governor's office, for what's going on in apprenticeship. We are constantly asked for different success stories, or even like outcomes, or employers engaged, new programs done. They're always asking us, and every time they ask us, we start scrambling trying to get this information. So now, if we just put it in the method of how we're reporting, then we'll have those available. And we want to highlight what's going on in beautiful Southern Illinois, or in LWIA 14, things of that nature. Also, we're going to, we're wanting to attract employers engaged, kind of like what some of you had to do that in the last grantees. And then we put this down on here, keep us informed. If you're running with problems with your grant and spending the money, or the programs you thought you were going to do are not working out, let us know sooner than later. We don't want to penalize people. It's just that the money will be taken if we could deobligate it and give it to other people who can do it if it comes to that. The thing is, we want to know sooner than later because we are responsible to DOL, and then we may not get future grants from DOL if we don't have deliverables that we say we're going to have. So it's nothing, all of these are pilots. I mean, it's not like you're going to get in trouble. We just want to know sooner than later so before the trouble compounds. Do you want to say something to that, Patrick?
No, I think you did a great job of covering that. You know, I hate to sound so direct, but Jennifer is right. You know, we do get asked, and I am not joking, at least once a week for this information. And that happened all year last year. And as these are highlighted, as the apprenticeship program across the United States is highlighted, you know, we frequently get asked, what are we doing here? What are we doing with it? So that's why it's really, really important.
All right, so I think we have Brian Richard on the phone from Northern Illinois University, and he's going to speak about evaluation.
Yeah, hello everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. So I see a couple familiar faces on the video feed, so I know I've met a few of you before, but for those of you that I haven't met, I'm Brian Richard. I also work with Northern Illinois University, a colleague of Jennifer's, and so my role with DCO has been working with the State Workforce Board's Continuous Improvement Committee and also trying to determine ways of getting more evaluation done throughout the system. But specific to this set of grants, DOL is now requiring all of their funding sources to have evaluations attached. So what I'm going to be doing is working with each of you to put together an evaluation plan for your specific projects or your specific approaches to what you're doing. And this isn't a way of, you know, like back in school, you're getting A, B, C, D, or F. It's a way of, I guess, more systematically pulling together those success stories that you were just talking about and learning from those so that we can share best practices. We can identify best practices and share those so that we learn from what you're doing, both from your successes and your failures. You're going to have challenges. So the evaluations will involve looking at those challenges, helping you find ways of overcoming those challenges and just documenting those so that we don't repeat mistakes in the future. So just wanted to kind of let you know what's coming. This will be part of the process in the next few weeks. You'll be hearing more about it, but just kind of wanted to give you a heads up that this piece is coming as well. So looking forward to working with you all on these projects.
Thank you, Brian. And some of the grantees met Brian, or the previous grantees met Brian back in December at our quarterly meeting. If you notice, he's aged 20 years since then.
Corona beard.
The COVID beard, yes.
Came in purely white, which is a little unexpected.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Brian. Also, just technical assistance. I'll just say something, and Patrick, feel free to chime in. But we're here to help you. We don't. You all are the practitioners, the experts. But we're here to help you be successful. So please contact us, and if you need something, you know, if we don't have it, we'll figure out how to help you get what you need, you know. And we'll be meeting with each of the grantees just just to make sure everything's going fine. And Patrick, please jump in.
Yeah, additionally on the technical assistance, we'll be doing probably at the very least calls with you on a quarterly basis. As a group, we will also be following up and doing technical assistance individually with you. I do want to say that we don't have a navigator right now. We have expanded from the last round, but we don't have a navigator right now in economic development regions 2, 3, and 7. But what I want to say to that is navigators kind of have a more of a global picture. We hope that you won't feel isolated just, because there's a border line that's designated on a map, that you'll work across boundaries to work together, especially for those intermediaries, working with them, intermediaries like Heartland and Danville, et cetera, that are intermediaries in those regions that don't have a navigator. We hope to expand and get a navigator in each one of those regions as well, and we are working hard on that. But in terms of the technical assistance, I hope that we all work together, and if there are general questions, that we can put them out there and try and get those answered, and certainly meet the needs of those economic development regions for employers and participants moving forward.
Sorry, I was on mute. I think that we should just open it up for questions if anybody has questions.
Hey, Jen, this is Matt Weiss. I put a question in the chat regarding this, but as far as tracking goes, so we're obviously, our program's a registered apprenticeship program, so we're putting people into, that system. We're registering everyone in WIOA, so it's got to go into iWoods. I know that you said Illinois WorkNet was creating something that was going to be easy, but is there any interface with iWoods at all that would, I guess,
Matt?
prevent us from
That's a great
having to
Yeah, that's a great question.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, we're not excited about asking you guys to do triple work.
I know.
You know what? I know that they are doing an interface with iWoods. I'm not sure if they have it set up where it goes from iWoods and then populates that other system. But that's definitely something we'll find out for you guys. We want to not overburden you, so.
Right.
I know that they
I'm
are
pretty
looking.
sure I'm pretty sure that they're working on that, and that that is one of the things that they're trying to do to reduce duplication.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Patrick, this is Kathy, and I know when we finished the EPIC grant, they already had that working, and it does work. I believe they're just fine-tuning it.
Oh, that's perfect, Kathy. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Kathy.
This is Blanche. I was wondering if we could get some testimonials from the business community, different sectors, healthcare, manufacturing, small business, just so that we could, as we're sharing information, be able to give specific examples to companies that are relevant to their location in a rural community or a small company versus a larger corporation. And then also if there are any employers that are currently employing and using the apprenticeship program or have completed, could we get some references so that I could say to an employer, hey, call so-and-so in Cairo because they just completed an apprenticeship program, so that they can have some conversation, because no matter how much I say or even our navigator says, they like to talk to their colleagues about, well, how did this really work?
Blanche, you are so right. We have found that employers believe other employers more than they're going to believe anybody else. So one
success stories.
Yeah, so that's a good point, and we'll we'll be putting those, put those together. But then also the Chicago Apprentice Network, Dan Sirota with Aon has offered at any time now. Of course, he's a big company and he's in a city, so it's a little bit different. But he's offered to talk to any employer that wants to talk about apprenticeships in the state of Illinois. But that's what you're talking about is what we really want to happen. So we need to work on that. Yes.
Well, entering in a national network, it doesn't really have to be someone in North Carolina. I'm looking for some rural examples, some rural employers, particularly in manufacturing, where the employer I'm speaking to can view this individual as a colleague and say, yeah, this person runs a business similar to mine, and so I can see how this might work.
I got you.
So Jennifer, I would say that we can certainly bring that up and address that towards maybe the National Community and Practice with Wendy Brors, our mayor and mayor technical assistance kind of person that works with us in the state of Illinois.
Yes. So like Patrick said, we have a technical assistance person that we meet with once a month with for DOL's purpose, but it's with mayor. They contract it out. But they are resourced to us, so we can ask them anything. Now they may not be able to get it, but we'll definitely bring this up on the next one. Let's get other examples from other states. Any other questions? All right. Patrick, should we end this?
Yes, it looks like you'll get 10 minutes back.
Thank you all for participating. We look forward to working with you all.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.